This Deepavali, we celebrate the fall of a tyrant, a fall of a vile, the fall of a wicked, and fall of a pure evil man to a man of God, God incarnate, Lord Ram himself. Now, Diwali is not just bursting of crackers and our rituals to Lord Ram, but it is to take Lord Ram as an inspiration and to take him as a model for each of us to live our own lives, and more importantly for how our nation's leader should be, how our government must be ruled. This term, this concept is called Ram Rajya. Ram Rajya. Many have promised it. Very few have achieved it. Now, that doesn't mean we must give up this as an idealistic and trivial childish dream that Ram Rajya is just a figment of imagination. No. We will try, and we will try till the end of the human race to implement Ram Rajya. For what else better goal can a man set forth for himself? Now, Rama defeated an evil man, and there is no one in any of these four directions of this nation who considers Ravana the good one. No, he was a vile man. He was the wrong one. He was wrong that God himself had to take the avatar of man to come down. But he had his own good qualities. He was a big devotee of Lord Shiva. He meditated for hundreds of years and he received boons from Lord Brahma. Now, does that make him a good man? No. He had to go. He had to go. The Lords knew it. Lord Shiva knew it. Lord Vishnu knew it. Lord Brahma knew it. All of them knew it. That's why Lord Rama was incarnated. He had to go. Now, we face a similar dilemma. Certain people promise Ram Raj, but we have seen it has not been brought to reality. Promise does not mean the truth. It is only covering up what's really happening in this nation, which is our nation. Our nation, which has to be number one on this planet, has been left behind. And we celebrate this new 4 trillion GDP goal. But who's really benefiting from it? It's not you, it's not I, it's not the rickshaw driver, it's not the common man, it's not the office worker, it's not the maid. No. It is only a certain few people who have benefited. We have such vast treasure troves of moral lessons and philosophy in our epics, in our Vedas and in our Puranas, but we are not using them. We are not using the lessons that the gods have put down for us, the eternal lessons and laws of mankind. That when tyranny is on the rise, when oppression is on the rise, injustice is on the rise, it is up to us to bring about a change. Now, injustice is on the rise. The wealth inequality between the rich and poor is unlike any other country. All this under a so-called Ram Rajya, which the media has told us we live in. But no, you and I know it's not true. False. It's all false. Now, take another example. Lord Parshuram. He killed the Kshatriyas 21 times. Why? Because they oppressed the people. Did he cry about it? Did Lord Parshuram whine about it? Or did he take action? He took action. And that's why he's a god. He is the 6th avatar of Lord Vishnu. And there is no one in this planet and in this universe who can say what he did was wrong, what he did was right. Now, the Kshatriyas of then are the same as we have today, except they have just changed their names. A change of name, that's it. A change of dress. Wearing the white kurta, wearing the white pant, wearing that white Gandhi topi. You seriously think that makes you the man of the people? No, that just shows how smart and ingenious you are in fooling the people. Now, behind each and every one of them is 150 crores. I want you to visualize 150 crores. Now you consider that with the average industry worker, the factory worker who works hours, long shifts, no break, unhealthy food and poor standards of safety. Who takes home only 15,000 rupees a month. Now compare that with 150 crores. My friend, is that fair? It's not fair. They know it. That's why they do not flaunt their wealth so openly. They wear the white kurta, they wear the white khaki, the simple juta bhuta. They think they can fool us. No, my friend. We are not going to be fooled because we demand a change. 1,000 years, India has been left behind. Ever since the invasions starting in this 8th century, our nation has started to decline. Our nation has started to fight in between each other. Our nation has not kept up with the world. And we know what has happened when we have not been kept up with the world. What happens? I'll tell you. Invasions. We got invaded by the Delhi Sultans. We got invaded by the Mughals. We got invaded by the Brits. And now we're getting ready to be invaded by Americans and Chinese now. Now, this should not happen. We must recover our nation to what it was, the glorious country of Bharat, the glorious country of Aryavarta. That country, one of the first civilizations on earth, Indus Valley civilization, is no one but ourselves. We are the descendants of the Indus Valley civilization. Remember that. Our ancestors were great, the greatest in fact. Now we are only a small shadow of them. And this is no way to live. We too must become great. And it will benefit us and it will benefit all the future generations, and it is not an impossible task if we all unite. Gentlemen, it is time to wake up and realize that this class of people, this jati, this caste, this varna is the true enemy. This class of people are the ones who fool us, distract us, confuse us with all these ridiculous opinions, nonsense in the media, that we don't really truly improve our nation while the rest of the world gets forward. And we all know very well what happens when a nation is left behind. By looking at our history, isn't 1,000 years of oppression, shame and being underneath other countries not enough? I think it's enough, and I'm sure you too think it's enough. So let's stand up and let us unite. Happy Deepavali. May the God bless us all.